the amount of people who still to this day, tweet me or email me and say, just got around to watching your documentaries, and say thank you so much. It's really helped me understand what happened to my dad, or what happened to my mom, or what happened to my brother, or what happened to my friends. Because there's no conversation about it. It happened to my father, 35 years ago, and there was no conversation about it. Dad's gone funny. That was it. And psychosis is a really bizarre condition. The hallucinations and delusions that come along with it can really affect you. And it's like, I know people talk about dementia sort of robbing them of their partners and mothers and fathers. And with psychosis, it's like watching somebody you love just overnight just turn into somebody else. They're talking strange. They're talking about strange things. They're deluded. Their thoughts are disjointed, and there's a sense of helplessness. It's not like you can give them a tablet and say, go to bed. It's something broken. Something needs attention in their minds. And I know for me, it was my identity, race, who I was, what I was, coming to terms with what I was. And I certainly know that after my breakdown, and I almost call it a breakthrough. To be honest with you, I do call it a breakthrough because I've never been better. I'm more in tune with myself now than I've ever been. But I worked after coming out of it. I worked in a lot of black theatre again, and it was like building my identity, black identity, back up, reforming myself as an individual. And that work goes on today. But just going off subject here, but just really proud that I'm amongst the cast who feel brave enough to tell them their vulnerabilities, because I think it's only in expressing your vulnerabilities that we can really help people, particularly in our position, because everyone thinks we're all rich and famous and living these perfect lives, and far from. You only have to look at Kanye to see that, and I hate this sort of circus around Kanye West. Clearly the man is bipolar, and when I see the videos, that presidential thing that he did the other day, it was painful. We shouldn't be laughing at this. We should be trying to. People should understand that is an illness, and he's high. And it isn't something that we should be laughing at. It's something that we should try and understand, and not excuse, not always excuse, but at least understand that there's somebody that's battling something that they can't necessarily get a handle on.
What was the impetus for you in terms of? Obviously you were so kind of ensconced in the US, and you have this amazing career here to sort of come back to the UK and kind of uncover your past in this way. Sort of that scene of you looking through the records and kind of just being confronted with
truth,
everything.
Truth.
Of course, yeah, the truth of what happened. And what sort of propelled you to make this film?
So there are times when I wish I'm not going to say I wish I hadn't done it, but
I say only with admiration, by the way, I should say, truly.
Well, I do. There's part of me which worries. I was speaking to a friend of mine the other day who said that I think there was an American basketball player who came out, started talking about depression and mental health. I think it didn't go well for him. I think he was actually let go. So, I think it's still a taboo subject. I think it's still, somebody was telling me when I first started talking about the program that it's one of the psychiatrists in the documentary was telling me off screen that 30, 40 years ago people thought you could catch cancer, or people thought if somebody had cancer you just avoid them because you don't want to they didn't get many visitors to hospitals because they thought it was catchable, as it were. But it feels like we're there with mental health. We feel like we're still hacking through the jungle, sort of, you know, trying to find that clear path that we can talk about it. Particularly in America, I think that's true. I know Taraji P. Henson is trying to start a conversation about Black mental health in America. And I'd love to join with her because I think it's vital.
I do remember going to an audition, and the audition was on Windmill Street, and I know where Windmill Street is, in Soho. But I couldn't find it. I could not find Windmill Street, and I was walking around for hours. I don't remember what happened, but eventually I found Windmill Street. I was about 3 hours late, and the casting director, she could tell I wasn't right.
The audition was, to me, is the day that it all went horribly wrong. We were out looking for you, and then we went to the house.
Looking for me?
I think so.
We discovered you sitting, there were all these scruples cards all over the floor. There's a copy of Shakespeare with a corkscrew screwed right through it. The thing I remember is being helpless.
I kept convincing them that I was okay, because the energy was really exciting. Maybe if I'd have taken those tablets, all that energy would have gone away. And I didn't want it to end.
I think there's so many issues with strength and issues of, you know, we can't look weak, you know, in the community that you know, in our community, even in England, you know, I'd be walking around Tesco's and I'd get this old black guy come up to me and go, son, I see what you did on TV last night. I just want to say, well done. About time someone talk now. About time someone tell people about them things. And like, the guy's like, you know, and I'm weeping with this guy in Tesco's because he's saying how important it is, you know, how much of an, and these are figures that are not, they're not the same around the world. In England, Black people are 10 times more likely to have a mental health problem than white men. Black men are 4 times more likely to be detained. What's that about? It's to do with the environment we're living in and a sense of value. I mean, I have got my sense of value from America. America said to me, "You're good. Come over. Here's a job. We like you. Here's another job. Do you want to do this? Do you want to direct?" And I've had this sort of silence for 30 years, you know, from the UK. My therapist, I maybe shouldn't be telling you this, but my therapist often says it's almost like an absent father. You know, America's been the mother that's given me the love, given me the cuddles, given me the support, but my absent father, England, continues to not call me or continues to, and it hurts. You know, and there's a sense of value, which is why I love this thing so much, because it's like, wow, somebody slowly maybe believing that there's an acknowledgement, because for a long time I didn't think it was there, and it was painful.